What's going on, guys? We are back at the podcast on episode number 6. It's been a couple weeks. Apologize for missing out on a few episodes. Been busy with the Vegas trip and a couple other things, but we are back now. And today we're going to talk about a few different topics. We're going to talk about the upcoming Ultimate Rares out of the OTS, I believe, 19. Fallen of Albaz was just announced to be one of them. Talk about the impact that the Adventure Brave deck or engine is having on the game, and with whatever time we have left over, we're going to talk about potential hits on the Forbidden and Limited list. So, who would like to go first?
Corey?
I can go first. I mean, we know Fallen of Albaz is getting a hit, or getting the ultimate print. So, I mean, we're just looking for like the nostalgia and the extra deck, right? Because like that's kind of like the format that they go by.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be that person. Just like last OTS pack, I think we're gonna get another hand trap. I think it's gonna be Ash. I think that's kind of the nostalgia pick at this point, just because it's like it's been in the game for like 6 years.
2017.
And it's still like 5 years, and it's still a mandatory 3 of in like every deck list. Like, even though it's considered a weak hand trap, it's still everybody plays it.
Yeah.
Then I think my extra deck spot.
Phoenix Enforcer.
God. Nah.
Yeah, it's too new.
I don't think they'll give a Phoenix Enforcer. I think we'll get like. Honestly, I think we'll probably get like Verte. Like.
And then they ban it.
Hate the TCG. They're gonna keep feeding us like cards that are absolutely broken, force us to spend a lot of money on it, and then ban it or limit it or whatever. Like just like Ulti Fusion Destiny.
Yeah. I just hope they don't do like what they did with this one, where they print cards that were already like high rarity as ultimate, like printing Starlight.
That's such a bad idea.
Yeah, I hate that. There was no point.
Zeus?
Yeah, it was just a waste.
Just like completely pull the rug on the second hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that might affect. I mean, it might affect it, but first off, if you guys have kept up with the podcast, I've been begging Konami for the ultimate print of Fallen. I've been begging Konami for it.
Konami's been watching the podcast.
Yeah, if they got me wired, they know that like they've been listening to me. First thing I said, I was just like, I'm really, really hyped how everybody knew exactly to message me. They were like, so I got probably like 5 or 6 DMs. I got one from Boy. I got some from the guys from the other shop. I got Trinity sent me a message. I got tagged on it. And I was just like, okay, so everybody's freaking aware that I want this card ultimate rare. So really, really happy for that. As far as just like, I think with the current set with OTS 18, giving us a Fusion Destiny was kind of nice. The Zeus I don't understand, and the Ecclesia I didn't understand either. I get it. Those are like 2 cards that were really played a lot in the format, but both of them have high-end rarities. And they make those high-end rarities for that same reason, for like, they're chase cards. They're cards that people are going to want to collect. They're people that like going to spend a lot of money on, because it's 1 per 3-4 cases, 1 per 2 cases, whatever the ratio is.
I mean, if you think about it, like there's usually like 4 or 5 Starlights in a set. So like getting the Starlight that you want is actually like 1 in 15 cases.
Yeah. And let alone get a playset of it. You know what I mean? Zeus is 1, but Ecclesia's a 3. So I'm like, okay, so that I didn't understand. Maybe it was like to try to like stop the second market, which is somewhat understandable. But Konami doesn't care. They make their money up front. It's not like, oh, they're printing extra cards to sell secondhand. They don't do that. They don't care. So it's just like they did it mainly to try to affect market, which kind of sucks. But I mean, it's just like it is what it is. Maybe they did it as a reward to the players. Just like, hey guys, we know that you like these cards a lot. We see them a lot in every decks. So here's another print in case people like ultis over starlights. Because me personally,
bro, God.
Like personally, it's just like I like CRs, I like ultis. I love ghost rares, but like now it's just like the ghost rares that are come out are not too chase. You know what I mean? It's like they'll give us the blue eyes, they gave us the dark magician, they gave us the new what's it called, the crystal wing.
Yeah.
So so it's just like okay, like the ghost rares are still there, but it's not like something that I personally want. Give me like another boss monster that's a ghost rare, like to chase it. They don't make them anymore because you have like Arc Rebellions. You have some of like when the Pepe format was out. You had like Flare Metal that came out like ghost rare. You have some prints, but then Konami just did away with it.
Yeah.
Like ghost rares are another thing that like us as collectors and as players, not everybody. It's not for everybody. Like Starlights are not for everybody.
So Tony's pick for OTS 19 is one of them is going to be a ghost rare.
No.
Question, bro.
Okay, so I already got Fallen about Baz. That's mainly it. It's kind of random, but I was thinking maybe Gearsu Ultimate Rare because they already gave us Thing Gearsu and they gave us the link. So maybe giving that card just a collector ulti, the way you can have trifecta for that card for the Orchid set.
Right after Harp comes off the list.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go for Evenly Matched again. Like I think that card needs a reprint. I think it needs a good reprint, even if it's a collector print. But it's free to OTS players if stores are not opening OTS packs and selling them online. So,
no one ever does that.
Only Terrible's supposed to do that.
I'm a Tom Brady that bag.
Yeah,
But, that's pretty much it. So like that's gonna be my two options for the other two. I'm thinking maybe like the Orcus Mech Knight and Evenly Matched. Kazi, what you got? What you think?
So I'm just going off of what they've been doing recently. So I think they're gonna it's pretty clear that they're going off of the Dogmatica lore, where they did Ecclesia. Now they are doing on Valbaz.
I mean, it's still in the lore.
Yeah, and so what I'm thinking is that just going off of that premise, if they're doing the lore and they're following it that way, I think that for the meta decks that they're looking at this time around, last time they looked at primarily with PK, the Kagamucha Knight, the Break Sword, the Dasher, the Celestial, the Fusion Destiny. Like there was so much PK support in this OTS set. I feel like that they're maybe that they looked at the meta. I don't know if they look that far ahead in advance, but maybe they might do something with the Rose Dragons. The reprint for one of those. I don't know which one is important for the base strategy, but they might give one of those an OT. Because then that would follow suit with what they've done with this OTS. So either the Black Rose, I don't know, the Rocks Rose or the Red Rose, one of those guys. Because we also got Basil Roshu OTS upgrade last couple. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that. We got that one upgraded from a common to a super. So maybe we'll get an ulti for that. And then going off of that, if they want to continue giving heavy support to an archetype, they'll probably, I'm thinking, make Barone an ulti. I think Barone ulti would look really, really nice. Just going off of the way that I feel like they're projecting their ultis, but I think that would be like amazing because we need a reprint for that card. And this reminds me something of like they did with Droplet, where Droplet was released, super expensive, and its immediate reprint was an OTS ulti, and that was only like a couple months later from Rise of the Duelist the next calendar year for the OTS when that got reprinted. So I think that what I'm thinking, if I just follow the logical progression of how they're printing these cards, maybe that's what I'm assuming. You'll have like one of the Rose Dragons as an ulti, and then maybe Barone.
Yeah, those all sound solid.
Barone sounds like an actual solid reprint.
Yeah,
because the card needs it. Like that set has no other card that you want in it. Like it goes Barone at 80, and then the Ghost Rare at 40, and then everything else is like $3.
Yeah.
Like it's either you pull it if you got it. Like we ordered some for the shop, and it has been selling because we sell it at 55 a box. So I'm like, it has been selling, but it's people buy three boxes, get one Barone, and they're like, okay, well, I don't even want to open anymore because like, but it's
That's
spending
the whole value.
Yeah.
spending $55 to try to pull something, and it's not like there's something in there aside from the Speedway stuff like that's worth opening. Like, yeah, there's some of the birds, but they kill that deck.
It ain't
Yeah.
that
Like,
big.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, so it made the cards in that set not wanted anymore. What do you think?
Yeah.
Boy?
Okay. So I only really had one real prediction. I guess it's kind of more of a wish list card, but I came up with a second one. But the first one I said was Magician Souls. Konami has DM players by the throat. It's seeing a lot of play right now. Seeing a lot of play, so I could see them giving that card an ultimate print.
It would look so nice.
It would look so good.
Nice.
My second one is something that I hope that doesn't happen, but like I was just going off like the premise that they're giving, these older archetypes more support. So like they're giving, like the Albaz, the new fusion spells. So they printed Albaz as an ultimate rare. And even though I don't want it, I feel like with the Sky Striker box coming out soon, they want to sell that. They would make Zeke the ultimate, even though I don't want it, because every other striker link is an ultimate. But I kind of hope we miss on that, because I hate that deck, but I was just trying to be realistic.
So I'm also just like looking. So like if we look at like OTS 15, which is like kind of like the set of 2021 that we're on now.
Yeah.
Their prints were 2 extra deck monsters and the armed dragons, like a deck boss monster. And then the next set after that, OTS 15 or OTS 16 was when we got Droplet. It was Droplet. It was Cyber Dragon, Firewall, and Droplet. So kind of hard to just to choose like what kind of format they're going off of.
Yeah.
Just because like they could give us another power spell.
I think I know what they'll do. They'll give us like a Scythe ulti. Oh my God.
Oh my God!
Bruh.
Throw up. Literally throw up.
I'll take the Zeke.
My.
Give me the Zeke instead.
Yeah.
Please give me the Zeke.
If they look at like meta play, like yo, Scythe is everywhere. Make it an old. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Can we not?
Or you could also like
mark it down, bro. I said it here.
you also throw a drop in the bucket that they do an ulti or roared on.
I'm writing it down. Scythe Ultimate on Tuesday, March 15th.
I really hope not. Not at all.
Quote Kazi. So if it happens, we know who we're blaming.
Yeah, it's just no. I really hope not.
That's really bad.
Would that be?
We're going to give you Fallen of Albaz as an ultimate and then give you a card that makes it where you can't play the Albaz deck. Also ultimate. Here you go.
They're like, oh, we know we're about to release this ulti Albaz and Despia is about to get their fusion spells, so we're going to drop ulti Dimension Barrier. Like, let's go.
And
my God, don't do that.
And ulti Scythe.
I haven't even got the structure deck, and the damn cards already got hit in OCG.
Then they'll put
Like,
Super Poly in there.
We got it, bro. And OCG hit the spell already. Like, bro, can we get the deck first? Like,
Then they're going to put they'll put Super Poly and Starving Venom in there, both as supers, just to top it off.
Oh my God.
Bro, they're gonna do us like, cause they know, like they're gonna do us like they did with like the Hulk release where they they know this broken card's about to come, so they're gonna like preemptively hit like all the power cards for it. So it's like that's kind of like cause they know
probably the one.
They know the TCG just like it likes to abuse shit. So
Yeah.
they're like, we can't let the TCG have Hulk and O-line. Are you kidding me? You know what those DGens would do?
Yeah, we break some stuff.
Yeah, we do.
They took Glow Bulb too. They took Glow Bulb. They took Lion. It took a lot of tuners, but
Was it Steve book as well?
Yeah, we lost Steam. We lost Destrudo.
For a hot second.
Yeah.
They gave it back. They gave it to us back, and they're like, they're gonna regret that shit.
Hold on. Why did Konami take Snow off the list, bro? Why?
I do not know.
Bro, that card is a problem, dude. Oh my god.
Yo,
Yeah.
Spin Chang Ying, Snow Effect.
Oh.
My god.
God, disgusting.
That's so bad.
I'd rather have Ulti Scythe than have one Snow in the game.
I wouldn't go that far. Snow's not that bad. Like, I could go with a Cold Bite at 2 on the next list though. That'd be great.
Bro, put Call it a 3, bro. As well.
Bro, Call it at 3 is so toxic.
It's just bad. It's really
We're
bad.
at the point where nobody even plays Call by anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's the one of.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly one of. You told me I can play 3. I'm playing 3.
That's
Yo,
what I'm
Cold
saying.
Bite would
bro.
actually be a pretty dope ulti art though.
Oh yeah.
Be.
It would be.
Yeah.
Make it an ulti too, bro? Ooh, that'd be hot.
Ulti, take it off the list. Let's go!
Profit.
That's asking for too much.
Yo, if
That's asking for way too much.
I'm
honestly,
bricking on 3. I'm hitting the DP, the Dasher, and the Celestial.
God. Oh, it feels bad.
You open all 3.
Yep.
Open Celestial, Dasher, and then Called By.
honestly, I think that'd be pretty dope, actually, right? If you think about it, if Konami wants more players to come back in competitively, right? In terms of pushing in OTS and tournaments, if you take Call by to put it to 3 and you make it an ulti, it makes it that more people would want to obviously come in and play for that.
A lot of people left because of that, though. A lot of people quit because, like, what that is a point. It's giving more combo decks another out. Like, now you're at the point where, like, if you open 2, you open combo. Like, the one card that will stop you can just call by if you get Ash, Valor, Ash, Valor, or Ogre.
He was saying the same thing about Crossout.
Crossout, yeah.
Crossout, yeah, but I still think Crossout's a main staple 3-of. I play it as a 3-of in every deck that I'm playing.
You play it at the 3, don't mean everybody else does.
I think they're wrong.
Bro, even when Call by was at 3, I've seen very few decks play at 3 just because we're like, oh, this card is bricky. You draw 2.
Sky Striker did.
Sorry?
Sky Striker did.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, it doesn't do anything after I use the first one.
We don't talk about Sky Striker. Monkey deck.
For real, bro. That's the spell Eldritch, man.
It is.
I'm gonna stay by that.
At least Eldritch has cool lore. Like, El Dorado, Sky Striker's just like, I don't know, pedophile.
So somebody, I was playing against somebody, and this dude had the nerve. He's like, "Yo, Kazi, you'd be a really good Sky Striker player." I'm like, "Bro, if you need to stop that, bro. I'm never touching that deck, man. No way." He's like, "You'd be really good with that deck." I'm like, "I would, but I'm not doing it to myself. No way, no shot."
Yeah.
Friends don't let friends play Striker.
Look at Tony with his. Look at Tony trying to regress back into the caveman. He said, "Link summoning, what's that, bro?"
I hate Link summoning, bro. I genuinely just hate. I like playing Old Man Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, call it what you want to call it. Like, give me X-Seeds, give me Synchros, give me Fusions. I'm happy. Like,
no. And Link summoning is just so seamless. And then it's so much easier to manage. But I think honestly, like, just on the subject of Scythe, I think that's honestly why the Brave engine is so prevalent, and like why like when I brought up Scythe getting hit, you were like, but it's not doing anything, and I'm like, it's not doing anything because like Brave just lets you play under it regardless. So it's like, it just like sickens me to like be like,
is Scythe at 3 in OCG?
I don't know. But
I'm just genuinely shocked, like how Brave just like shifted everything. It was just,
Yeah.
I'm just blown away.
I don't think I've ever seen an engine come in and just take over like that did.
And it literally just took like deck building from I'm going to make my deck as optimal as possible, 40 cards exactly, so I'm always drawing a starter, always drawing a hand trap, always drawing a spell card, and like an extender, to I'm literally going to play Leroy Jenkins .deck, kitchen sink .deck, and it's okay because worst case scenario, I'm at least ending on a token and a negate. Like,
and hand traps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hand traps.
Has there ever been another engine that was that relevant and that splashable?
They put Ash, Baylor, they put all the hand traps to 1.
Oh.
And leave everything else at 3.
God, I just cannot believe it. Like, and it's funny, right? Like, the initial iterations of Brave was, like, not even correct, because most people just use it for extending. Like, they don't even end on the Griffin and the token. They're just like, yeah, I'm just using that to make a Baron, make a formula, make fiber. And it's like, yeah, my plays are just protected through everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you telling me this is what this does?
Yeah.
It's insane. It's ridiculous.
I think it's definitely been the best like splashable engine that they've made to date. Like I think the only one before that was maybe, I don't know, Brilliant Fusion was pretty good back then.
I think the best unintentional splash engine was Sky Striker.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about Striker Orcus.
Just like, yeah, you just like splash like anything. Like you just like literally look at like all the YCS events that is topped. Even though it directly didn't top, like Trickstar, Sky Striker, literally Sky Striker, Orcus Striker, like all of those decks, because that engine was so compact and like you could just like put it in literally anything as long as it plays spell cards.
Yeah,
and like that's why I think like you know, I mean even this weekend, somebody topped with DPE Sky Striker Brave, so it's like it just gives just like combining those two engines is just dumb, but. Literally, I love it and I hate it because I love it because it is so good. Like I love seeing good things just come into the game and like thrive. But I hate it at the same time because I just feel like it just makes every deck super helmet. It's like I don't actually have to be good at Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm just gonna open this engine that lets me basically summon 2 cards for free, sometimes 3 cards for free. And I'm gonna and I just don't have to normal summon a hand trap. And congratulations, I have full combo. And it's like,
yeah, better have Nib, Valor, Imperm.
You're so smart. You're so good at the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like and like I granted, am I gonna be playing it? Probably. Like because you have to. Like it's also like one of those things where it's kind of like
necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Like.
We already talked about the Unga Bunga combo deck, but Corey didn't like my name for it. I thought it was brilliant. I don't know if you want to leak the spice in the podcast.
Terrible name idea.
I'll tell you guys in the chat later. It's pretty brilliant. Don't let Corey fool you.
It's I don't know. The Brave Engine alone. It's just like you see how quick it got hit in LCG.
Yeah.
And like here, I don't necessarily say that that it'll get hit automatically. I think they'll hit everything else. Just because we need a format change. And that's something that I think all of us can agree on. It's like we do need like a format change because like right now it's just like 60 card featuring anything. You're playing 3, 4, 5 engines in a deck, and it's just like it adds weird diversity to the format, but at the same time, it's like it feels kind of stale.
Yeah,
like
there's nothing worse than losing to like a top decked one of when your opponent plays 60 cards. Like it literally just feels like you got cheated. Like even if they didn't,
it's not even. Yeah, it's not even like that. It's just like, all right, so deck building, like Corey said earlier, it's just like it took you built for consistency. And right now, your consistency is just like, I'm going to open something regardless, and I just need to make needle fiber, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
that's why I think that the needle fiber is absolutely... Literally, this whole format has just painted a target on needle fiber's back. It's like, we were allowing you to play this card at 3 because it wasn't quite broken. Because we banned all the super broken cards you can use with it. But here you go, doing your thing.
Yeah.
So what if they just hit the deck spot?
The what?
The despot.
Despot?
That does nothing.
Does nothing, dude. Because you're
It stops your roar dunk. Like, it literally stops the roar dunk combo.
Yeah, but most of the decks aren't even doing a roar dunk combo.
right. The primary line is the red rose stuff.
Yeah, it's the red rose stuff with the Brave engine.
Yeah.
Because you make Hulk, you have a level 7 and a level 4, so you just like make Barone, make summon out the Rocks Rose, make Yazi, pop Yazi summon Sword Soul, or Yazi summon other extender. Like it's just like the Despot combo only stops like the Tenyi Brave version, and if they want to end on Arclight.
Yeah.
So like that's the only time it comes up. And even then, like some decks are just like splashing like the small 10E package. So instead of Despot, they can bring out Adhara to still make the 3 or still make the 4.
I honestly think that they need to do something with the tennies. Like it's just free removal right now, which is just wild. Like a lot of cards, and the reason why I think that the Brave engine is so strong is because Draco Back just bounces cards, and that's essentially what Vishuddha does as well. Like you have a powerful boss monster on field, and it's like it's risky to leave it out because if you have a Vishuddha coming down or if you have a Draco Back coming down, it's like you basically lose it and you can never get it again. Because I've been playing a lot of Brink Kids, and I'm just so scared to leave Butler on the field because it's like it's gonna get Vishuddha bounced or it's gonna get Draco Back bounced, and it's like, well, what's the point of me even like committing so many cards to one boss monster just for it to get outed so quickly? I mean, granted, it's fair because it's like two Raigekis off of the Butler is also so impressive, but like it could be so accessible, you know, like it's just easy. Like I'm not even worried about the boss monster anymore, which is why, bro, we should all just play Dragoon again.
Bro.
Yeah, can we just go back to Dragoon?
Dragoon going second is just OTK. Like if you just like, droplet ref, like summon Dragoon, pop, burn, attack for game, like
yeah.
what they gonna do?
I thought about that the other day. Like you go second.
Dragoon is just not affected by any of those cards that we were talking about.
Yeah. Like if you go second against like PK and they don't scythe you in the standby and you just drop ref, like pop everything. Oh, Fog Blade. Okay, that's cool. You can't target. Like insane.
It'll hurt. That's for sure.
And that's like another reason why I think a lot of like I think even going before we even get to the branded format, I think we're gonna see a lot of decks like even thinking about like in Sword Soul, like I think a lot of decks are just gonna start sliding in Super Poly. It's like you just priority Super Poly, whatever in DPE, so they can't get the scythe off, and then if not, then all you got to do is break like you side in the cards to break the Brave engine.
Yeah.
So it's like because it's usually one or the other. Because like I think Brave like Phantom Knights is really the only one that ends Brave Phantom Knights and Prank Kids really the only ones that still end with the Draco Bag and the token on board.
Yeah.
Now, all the other ones just use it to go into the synchro lines.
Yeah. Like Super Poly is pretty crazy now. Like that was the best card I side decked Saturday. 100%.
Yeah. I saw the Super Poly, DP, and Dagda.
Especially in Heroes.
Question. Have we decided on what the best deck of the format is right now? Or is that still unknown?
I personally think the best deck of the format is that Cyber Brave Eldritch. The beach deck, I think so.
Yeah.
Because like
It's out there, bro.
it has like the main thing missing with in my opinion with like 3-axis, the 60 card pile, kitchen sink deck, based. I think the biggest difference is the Eldritch deck. I think one of the guys at the 3v3 called it beach. It has recursion, and none of the other versions of the deck do.
Yeah.
They're all.
So the issue with that deck is that it's just so susceptible to OTK. Like you literally all you have to do is just make one access code and you just kill them. I'm sort of because like every time I've played against that deck, I mean that's essentially what I've done. It's like you just because if you're main decking Imperm and Droplet, you let them play. You don't really care about stopping the Dot Scraper, stopping that little dragon, stopping any of those monsters because it's like end goal is to end on Scythe DPE. So you just stop that and you just OTK because then like essentially all they do is just set a if worst case scenario, right, they'll have a Conch and a Sanguine. And if you imperm that and you just deal with that one pop, you kill them relatively quickly. I don't know because they're gonna have to Anaconda take themselves down to 6K. You just punch them in the face with the 5300 action.
Yeah, he is right because like when I played against it Saturday, I got Scythe locked and I still killed him like easily through what he had, but I don't know.
I don't know. I just think like it's either that. In my opinion, it's either that or it's the Dragon deck, the Dragon Link. Yeah, the Dragon Link version.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, that deck is pretty crazy.
That version is just absolutely insane too. Because like again, it's mostly because of the recursion with everything in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Like as long as they just keep the boost sector launch up, and it's like. Get the next turn, guess what? You getting the same combo down your throat.
Yeah, like we've had Dragon Link. We've had Dragon Link for so long.
So here it comes.
So it was really in the 3
Give me back Protos.
When we played, the only time I was in danger of losing, which I actually did get 2-0, was against that Dragon Link deck. I got absolutely bodied, but you guys won that game for us, so I wasn't worried about it. But I was like, bro, I got the Swift 2-0. Like that man put me in a blender. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Unironically, the only thing I lost to, like that day, because I did the side events too, was the only thing I lost to is PK Brave in the side event. That is because this man just opened the nuts. Like when I say. I literally Lancey-ed him, and he still like full comboed me. I was like, if you got it. All right, let's go.
Right, like it.
And then like game 2 is just Scythe lock, and I didn't open Imperm or Droplet, so I was like,
Yeah, like I'm not kidding.
And then but in Swiss, I lost to the Live Twin deck. But that was because I got sacked by an Imperm. Like, otherwise that game's over. And then
an illegal Imperm that we also realized.
And then what else? I don't think I lost it in any other matchups that day. I think I didn't lose any other matchups that day. So it was like
you lost against the VW deck as well.
Oh yeah. I did lose against Virtual World Brave, but that's kind of crazy too.
Yeah. Beatrice is a card.
Yeah, because Beatrice dumb Scythe. Barone summon Scythe back.
Right.
So,
personally, from like what I saw as far as consistency of reoccurrence, I do think that LA check is actually up there. It's like
it's really good. No, it's really good. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying really good.
Same thing with Dragon Link, and like. Even if there are 60 card decks, like it's just gas. Most of it's just gas, and like Golden Lord still outs a lot of stuff. 3,500, he comes back like it's kind of crazy. But even that, right? Like even let's say all the decks that are at the format right now, whether it's base, whether it's 60 card featuring whatever, where there's 4 or 5 engines in every deck right now, which is like the Souls that you playing Dragons. The Roast Dragons, you're playing the Braves, you're playing the DPE, and then you're playing hand traps, whatever hand traps you're playing. And it's like every deck, the extra deck, has 3 cards in common, which is the Hawk, the Rurodon, and Vertite. So like it's so stale, bro. It's just like every deck is extra decks looking too similar. And I don't know, like I've been on the sidelines right now. Just because mainly it's just like I'm waiting for my structure deck to come out. But aside from that, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I play based. Well, a version of base with no magicians. But it was like, it's fun because like the lines of plays are so crazy because like there's multiple ways to get to the exactly same board. And it's kind of fun. It feels like Virtual World all over again, which is like, I love that deck. But it's just like, honestly didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I think another crazy thing too is like the Souls engine. Like, with the introduction of illusion and chaos, and like, cause this is another thing that's broken because of Brave. Like, literally, Brave puts you on adventure and equip spells, so you get souls, and you're just like souls to draw 2, Celestial Dasher draw 2, fucking Prank Kids playing it, draw 8 times in a turn, 8 times in a turn.
Let me tell you what happened, This was like round 1, I think, and my second, I drew 8 cards in a turn. I was drawing everything. Oh my!
Draw 2, TTT draw 2 more.
Oh my! So I triple tactics drew 2, and I was playing the Nightmares, so I was co-linking them, so drawing cards off of those guys. And then I was drawing 2 off of Magician's Schools. I was drawing a card off of Fansies. I was drawing a card off of Pranks. I'm just like, yo. I literally saw one of like they were at 3 because the deck at that point becomes so thin. So you run through the combo, and the normal Prank Kid combo takes out I think like 12 cards, and then the Souls will then draw you into 2 after your deck has been thinned. So you're seeing powerful cards, and then the Nightmares, right, 2 more cards. And then the triple tactics. So it's like you have I was drawing. Every time I was going through the draw combo, I was drawing into Instant Fusion, drawing into Monster Reborn, drawing into 1. I was 1 for 1, and it was just wild. Like I OTK'd my opponent through a full board just because of Magician Souls. It was crazy because it got to the point where it's like I had some of the Prank Kids. He stopped that play. He stopped the Prank Kids engine, and then he forced through everything. And the last card in my hand was Illusion when I had the Brave token as well as with a Faithful Adventure and the Equip spell. I Souls ditched those 2 cards and I drew an Instant Fusion, and then I extended off with my Prank Kids combo. And it was just like, holy, this is just wild. Like, I love that. That's why on Saturday I was fiending to get my hands on Souls because I was like, this engine right now is just so good. Like, it does way too much because the bare minimum, your combo gets stopped, and then you just summon Souls, make Anaconda, set up DP, and then there's your grind game.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you need a playset of Magician Souls, I am doing a giveaway, so make sure that you subscribe for the chance of getting a playset from Brothers of Legend. Sorry, it was a perfect time to advertise.
Speaking of like Brothers and other sets like that, like real quick, everything is selling out, bro. Brothers of Legend is sold out. There hasn't been a boat restock. There hasn't been like any sealed restock, and it's crazy. Like Konami's, I don't know if Konami doesn't have the ability to reprint sets anymore because they're just first edition only. But I mean, I'm assuming it's just like they just gotta save card stock. Like, you still be able to get like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go back and order another case of previous sets. Right now, the only thing you can get it's like the Synchro, whatever it's called.
Synchro Storm.
Yeah, and it's just like that's it. But
wow.
Magician Souls right now is gonna go up. Magician Souls is like a good old tea.
Wasn't it in the 10?
Mm-mm.
No, I think
it'll be in the 10. I think it'll be. It's definitely.
I was gonna say. I think it's gonna be in this year's 10.
Well, we're getting it. We're getting it in the Legendary Duelist. Let's subscribe. We're getting the Legendary Duelist season 3 in June or something like that, July.
Yeah.
But that I was telling myself like, man, it's gonna get reprinted. Don't buy it. And then I was like, dude, that's like 4 months from now. Like, I'm not waiting that long. I need the card now.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. I was not aware that, like, I mean, I knew that, like, special editions were taken out of circulation, but, like, I didn't know that you can't, before you were able to go back and get a set, Ace, and now that's just no longer a thing. And I think that that's not like directly being correlated with card prices right now. I think it's just absurd how expensive cards are now. Like the Brave Engine being $360, like that's like what you need to play competitively. Like forget even winning, right? Like winning takes the skill base.
Yeah.
Just to get your foot in the door, you need to pay $360, and that's just the engine. It's not even a deck. Then you have to pay for another deck to fit with the engine. You're going a minimum of $500 to have a competent meta deck right now, and that's just.
That's not including the extra deck either.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like how is like an $80 card and only 2 printings, Ultra and Ulti.
Like, then you got DPE.
Yeah, DPE. Auroradon's like a $20 card.
Kind of expensive.
Barone's like $90, or I think it's $110 almost again. Savage Dragons, $70 now.
Like droplets, and
access code is also
access code.
Yeah.
Like this is bad, man. This is really
like
bad.
It's expensive, but like in a lot of ways, like I've talked to some guys in Mount Airy about it. It's like, how much money, especially for like my group around here, have you spent trying to make like a bad rogue deck good? I'm not going to say how much money I've spent on Dark Magician because that's that's a different story.
Just talk about it,
boy. but if you just buy like a meta deck,
trust of Corey.
if you just bite the bullet and you say I'm going to spend $500 on this meta deck, and you're at least like a decent player, you can make your money back from like the product that you receive. And working a fourth as hard as you would have to be with a rogue deck that costs you $200.
This is true.
Okay, so this is my thing with in regards to value into a deck. So let's say, like, I think we discussed this before. Let's say a deck costs me.
It was good to talk about it.
Yeah, so it's always like let's say it's like my deck costs me $500, right? Let's say it's cost me $500, but I'm gonna be playing Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. I say Thursdays I play for 5 hours. Saturdays or Fridays I'm playing for another 6-7 hours, and then on Saturdays all day. So you're looking at, let's say 20-25 hours a week for 4 weeks a month. You're looking at 100 hours a month. So if you're spending $500 to have 100 hours worth of fun, like what should average you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I mean, look. The best example, right? So all the cards that I've recently sold to the shop at Easy have been cards that I've won from playing tournaments. I've only won these tournaments by shelling out the initial money on these engines / decks. And the Brave Engine I got super cheap when it was on release, so for like $200, and then whatever other deck of choice that you want to put in. So that being aside, okay, initial investment say like $300 max, and then winning events, selling cards back to the shop. I think I've sold to the shop at one point my store credit was like $500.
Your credit was, I think, yeah, you probably sold way over $1,000.
Oh, for sure. And that was all cards that I had. Like I didn't like spend my money outside of what I had for my initial investment. It's like now I'm at the point where it's like, just buy whatever I need because I made that initial investment of buying a good deck that had paid off for me in the long run. And that's like, I think that's like the absolute ideal way to do it, because now you'll never have, like, I will never have to pay money for meta in my life ever again.
Yeah.
We're talking about this.
You still have $400 worth of credit in the shop. So, like, if we pick something up, we're like, hey, does anybody want this? Or if you send us a message, hey, do you have this? We know to be aware to be able to look for those cards. It's like, hey, Kazi wanted this. We shoot you a message. It's like, all right, cool. We'll just take it off my credit. Same thing with boys. It's like, hey, just take it off my credit, or anybody actually, because like a bunch of the players will set cards aside for them, and it's just like it's for that reason. But so your initial investment of X amount of dollars has actually paid you to be able to have time to enjoy the game, and it's because of that. It's like even playing remotos, you can back your entry OTSs. Like you get one every week. You pull an OT, you're plussing.
Right, exactly. Like that's what happened this weekend, right? Bank 10 OTS packs, pull Ecclesia. Like that's just the way that you have to look at it at times, right? It takes that initial $100 to get in the door.
Yeah.
But
I talked about this in, I think, the second podcast. Like, I think towards the end of it, when we were talking about card costs, like how crazy it is, how expensive certain things are now versus like when they came out. Or cards used to be like $200-$300, and now they're like $5. And it's just like, obviously, like things coming in and out of the meta, the ban list. Obviously, if anything that gets banned, it usually tanks off pretty hard. Unless it's like relevant in like a previous format, like we're seeing a lot of cards that are banned, but they're like good in GOAT or good in Edison, and they're starting to pick up price again. And then, but like I said in there, like if you make the initial investment into the game pays you back. Like as long as you're like capable of like taking that deck and learning it and putting in the time to be decent with it, like not even good, decent. Like you can top a locals and get eight packs for getting fourth if you're decent. Like you don't have to necessarily like go top a YCS or a case tournament and get a full case of cards or anything like that. You just play well, and you have the opportunity to earn your investment back essentially. And like that, you see that time. I do that time after time. Like my initial get back into the game was last March, and I literally went through bulk that had been sitting for 2 years. I found like a unlimmed starter deck Kaiba Blue Eyes. I found like a couple other cards that were like I think it's the Eldritch cards that I like opened because I was bored and got packs at Walmart, and it was like Cursed Eldlin was like $40, and I was like, oh shit, like let me go unload these. I got like $400 in store credit, and then I built Dragon Link, and then I played Dragon Link. And I won, and then I started getting packs for that, and then I made my money back off the Dragon Link deck. Then next set came out, I had the money set up already to get Sword Soul. Like so, it is like it's just like a constant cycle.
Yeah, and my main thing is just like I have a frustration sometimes with players that will play a deck for 2 months. They get frustrated because like it's a meta deck, and they don't win like other players. I'm like, we had actually messaged about this earlier in the chat. We were talking about the comprehension of the game, and it's just like it's not only about having the best deck, because like Boyd said, it's like the best deck can only carry a bad player so far, but you can see good players with subpar decks make it even further, and it's just like. That comes with seat time. That comes with knowledge of the game. That comes with certain card interactions that, like the example we gave earlier was the DDD interaction. Honestly, it's just like I ruled it wrong. I mean, I still stand by my ruling from my understanding at the time. With that specific card in regards to the DDD, where it targets a monster card.
Yeah.
But because the card says monster card. It doesn't care if it's in the pendulum zone or not.
Oh, that was wild. I didn't know that either. That was insane.
Yeah, I had no idea.
If it only said target a monster, then it has to target a body on field. But because it says monster card, pendulum are treated as spell cards, but they're still monster cards. So exactly. So that goes back to comprehension of the game.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that. I literally would have argued that until I was blue in the face. And I don't argue, bro. Like, I was starting to get tilted.
I ruled it to where it's a spell.
Yeah.
But then he posted a question in the judges group, and I saw the interaction with the judges, and some of the judges were like, they were with me, but then the other guy was like, no, you're both right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now I have to read this. So I went through and read the whole thread, and I was like, okay, so the difference between a monster and a monster card, it's that it doesn't care where the card is.
The physical card.
Yeah,
exactly.
The physical card.
The fourth dimension, the fourth wall.
It doesn't care. So it's just like that goes back to the comprehension. DDD clearly it's a deck that what's that YouTuber? They just top with it.
Pack.
I was gonna say Pac, but I wasn't sure. But it's just like he topped with it, right? So I'm like, okay, so like you have to understand the fact that like it goes by skill base and knowledge, in comparison to somebody having a deck like that when he has a skill set, he has the knowledge of the deck, and has knowledge of the game. And then you see some of our guys that have somewhat knowledge of the deck, but they don't have the high skill level yet. So our player base is probably one of the fastest, most competitives that I've seen as far as growth. Because, like, you take Ben just came back into the game. Like, you take Garrett, that just started playing. He came in playing Gods. Like,
Egyptian God Slime.
Yeah, Egyptian God Slime. And he freaking topped the 34-person event we had. Got top 8. Ben has also been doing great. Like, he went from just starting to play the game, trying to learn Virtual World, to doing really good with Sky Strikers. Like, of course, not given to the skill level as Johnson. Like, Johnson went XO this last Saturday. Like, didn't drop a single match. And I was just like, that's freaking insane, playing Sky Strikers.
Yeah.
So that's literally, it's like 2 players, same deck. Knowledge, skill level. Knowledge, skill level.
Yeah.
So it's just like that seed time, like I said, if you're putting in 25 hours a week, or even if you're putting in 30 hours a week, it doesn't matter. Just do the math on how much seed time you put into the deck, how much research you're doing. And it's just like, don't you just go to one YouTube channel and see some basic combo lines? Bro, I go to those channels that got like 15 views. And like, I'll go to those channels before I go to a top channel. Because what I notice is that those smaller YouTubers, like the ones that I see the most is from OCG, because I usually just Google the name from Wikipedia, copy it, the base Japanese name to YouTube, and that's how I find deck lists. So that's what I end up doing. So like, I go to these channels that only have 300-400 views, 100 views at that, and see certain interactions that I wouldn't be aware of. And it's just like, I think doing that much research into a deck will make you a lot of a better player, and in the long term will give you the return that you want. Like, it'll give you the prize packs where you can crack those packs, open up something, sell it back to the store, build your credit line. Like, even it's just like, the game doesn't always have to cost you money, but it costs you money when you constantly switch decks,
Right.
because you don't want to learn it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I realized a lot is picking up a deck late.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 100%. Very hard.
That's probably the most hurtful thing you can do to yourself as a player.
Right.
Because, for example, if I was coming back into the game, I would not pick up Sword Soul right now.
No way.
I wouldn't. That deck's been played. People already know how to play against it. People know how to side against it. So, same thing with Virtual World. People know how to play against it. People know how to side against it. So, even PK, same situation.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're coming into the game fresh, okay? You're going to look into what decks are being played. You're going to look into what's been around the longest. So, for me, it's just like, I'm not going to make an initial investment to something that's already been solved, like Virtual World. Because the deck's already been solved. The same thing with Sword Souls. Teeny Sword Soul has literally solidified itself as the best build. It's got the most consistent tops of the virtual, the list. Hey, doggy. So it's like, okay, do you come into that game playing that deck and then get upset when it's a really good, consistent deck, but you're still losing? But you're also losing because you made a bad investment, because you're picking up a deck that's already been solved.
Mm.
And you're no longer just like coming into something, because the players, the competitive players, already have the previous knowledge on how to beat that deck. And it's really hard for a novice or new beginner player to go against somebody that's got more experience and do really well. And like, from my point of view, it's like Kasi said, making that initial investment to get yourself a competitive deck, but make sure that the deck's not a dying deck or like a 1.5 or 2 deck. And then you're going to be upset.
Right.
Because your skill level is not going to be up to par with somebody else's skill level with the deck that's got more seat time. Like, I play the mirror match with Arbor, I'm losing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm losing. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm losing. Like, I can have whatever knowledge I have of the deck, but he's got way more seat time with it. But give him Virtual World, give me Virtual World. Like, I'm winning that matchup.
Yeah.
So, like, it's that same thing. It's just like the seat time in comparison to the knowledge of the game, in comparison to making a worthy investment. I think is very key to actually playing competitive and like not losing money in the game.
Yo, you want to know something that I've noticed, and I think it's pretty fascinating. I'm looking at the growing pains right now of a lot of the other players right now in our community, and it's really cool because what I'm noticing is that a lot of the players aren't playing around certain cards, right? People are doing their combos, making their plays, and they're not playing around a Nib. They're not playing around Ash. They're not playing around Valor. They're not playing around Emperor. And then they're getting punished by these cards. But it's really cool because now they're like, oh, I know that this is something that I have to be aware of. Let me not walk into that the next time. So I was playing against somebody, and I told him, like, because it was like, it was low stakes. So I was just like, we were just playing, and it was in a local. And I was like, dude, man, I mean, if you're going to keep walking in Nib, you're going to get hit with Nib. And then he took that advice to heart. And he didn't play into Nib. And I was like, well, now my Nib is useless, So it's really cool to see that, like the players right now, they're going through the pains of getting rocked by a card or getting absolutely destroyed by a card. But then when they learn to play around it, you're like, there we go. That's how you get the most out of a deck. That's how you can enjoy it a lot more when you know that you make your opponents inherently dead because you're playing around the cards. And that's what makes the biggest difference. Because I remember Wood was saying this. He's telling like how Ryan and I, we play prank kids inherently better than most people. I don't think that's true. We just play around cards that shouldn't be good against the deck. Like Imprim is a terrible card against the deck. Droll is a terrible card against the deck. Lance is a terrible card against the deck. And people are playing these cards, but as I always tell myself inherently, I will just always play around these cards because the deck just inherently beats those cards. And when you play it that way, when you play around Nib, when you play around Ash, when you play around Droll, then the deck just amazingly, people are like, wow, how are you doing it? I'm like, I know the cards that you have in your deck, why not play around them? Especially if the deck allows you to do that. Sure, your lines of plays become a little funky and you end on weird things, but a lot of the times, I remember in the 3v3, I like ended on a Fansies and a Pandemonium because I was like, I'm not playing into Nib right now. And the dude was like, damn, he didn't play into Nib. Guess what? His hand had a Nib in it. And I won because now, inherently, he only had 4 cards in his hand. That's just the growing pains that I think that the player base is going through right now. And once they get the grasp of that, the easy scene is going to be super difficult because once
we're gonna have to change the name. We're gonna have to change the name from easy gaming to very very hard gaming.
So it's just that, and I'm happy to see that people are starting to get that awareness because it's like it makes the games a lot more intellectual. You're like,
it does.
If they have it, they have it. It's not like if they have it, they have it. You know what I mean? No, it's like they may have it, and I'm gonna play around it because I don't want to get absolutely destroyed by that one card.
I know we've said this before. It's just like you don't get better by making bad plays and winning. You get better by losing a lot. Like,
yes.
People are like, "Oh, you guys are like, oh man, you guys are really good." Like, bro, I've told you guys I think I'm trash, but
for real, bro.
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, I'm nowhere near where I should be as a competitive player, like at all. Like, I can't remember the last time I topped locals. Like, I haven't played as much as I should since I came back, but the last 3.5 months, I haven't played as much as I don't really want to. But that's mainly because like the decks that are out kind of not intrigue me. But it's like I haven't gotten here. Not mainly as a competitive player, but like I've lost a lot, bro. I've gone to regionals and they made me sit through all 8 rounds. Like, you know how bad I felt like going into round 6 and my opponent just didn't show up, and that would be my only win. Like everybody else is dropped, bro. I'm at table like 450. Like,
bro, I stay there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I'm at table 450 out of 500, but like I'm over here just like me by myself, shuffling my hand, putting my play mat out, like waiting for somebody to come play me, and somebody will walk beside me. It's like, hey, bro, you waiting for your match? It's like, yeah, he ain't coming. Like, bro, it's like stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
it's those punishments, like Ozzy said, those punishments from making bad plays and learning from them will make your competitive scene that much better.
Yeah.
Because like, if you people that always get paired up to a high caliber player, and they fear it, like stop that, get over yourself, like take a deep breath, like they're gonna break, like, and just optimize on their misplays.
Yeah.
Like, and that's very, very hard for somebody new to do. I understand when a misplay happens or the most optimal time to interact happens. And like that window, knowing when that window is, it's very key, to being competitive. And like, it don't matter what deck it is. Like, we've seen Tanya. Tanya came into the game last March, and she's done way, way better, like, as far as competitive. But look at who her test pool is. Like, her test pool is a lot more competitive than anybody else's. That's why I want to do test pools. And, like, I want other players to come in and, like, even if it's remote duels, like, jumping remote duels, the people that are playing remotes are the people you're scared of playing in your locals. And losing to those people will literally teach you to not be bad, make bad plays.
Yeah.
Right. And that's very, very key.
Good night.
When it comes to this game. It's just like,
love you.
Learning from your mistakes. It's just like, the worst argument that I've always seen was but I still won.
I was literally about to say that. Like, I've been just sitting here this whole time. That's like the worst thing you could do as a player. Like, yeah, you still won. Like, and I mean, I guess at the end of the day it still counts, but if you don't win correctly, you may not win next time.
That's the most triggering thing that I could ever see.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Like,
I literally, so when I play, I don't go by the record. I go by the amount of misplays that I had.
Yeah.
If I tell myself that I played technically perfect, I didn't make any mistakes, and disregarding the record, I know I played my full capability. And sometimes there's variance. Sometimes you just get sacked, and you can't take those into consideration. So games that I just absolutely get blown out of the water when I've played it perfectly, I don't even count those anymore because, like, I've done everything in my ability to make sure that I didn't mess it up.
Yeah.
What happens? The issue that happens is that when you misplay, then the whole tournament can derail because that one misplay is literally the difference between a top and a bubble.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. You can always go back and you're saying like, man, my tiebreakers got screwed up. And you're like, why? Because, I had a draw in that one round. And then you look back, it's like, what could I have done to change the outcome of that duel? And you're like, it was that one play. It was that one play that ruined everything. So it's not about, for me, it's never been about the result of a match. It's always been whether or not if I let my opponent outplay me or did I outplay my opponent. Sometimes, like you said, you just get sacked and there's nothing you can do about that. But I don't take those to heart. And that's just absolutely counterintuitive when you're like, well, I still won. Like, okay, I guess, you know what I mean? But come see me next time and it probably not, it's not going to be the same result. Because you're not going to get lucky that you did this time.
Yeah.
There's been times like if you go back and you watch a stream on the page, I was playing against Sam at top table, and like he's playing PK. I stopped the place at the right time. I started my combo playing based. I saw my misplay, and he fog bladed my needle fiber or hockey fiber X, whatever you want to call it. And I stopped, I looked at my hand, I shuffled it, looked at my graveyard. I looked at his graveyard. I saw that misplay cost me the game. Yeah. I looked at the clock. I was like, there's no point in me continuing this game. Like, I'm losing next turn. I'm going to burn like 3-4 minutes because he's going to try to combo off. Like, the most optimal thing I can do right now is scoop. And I did. I'm like, let's just go to game 3. I'm like, because I saw that my misplay was going to affect a game 3 based on the time. Exactly. And I'm like, I can't afford to lose those 3-4 minutes. And if it wasn't for those 3 or 4 minutes, I would have lost that match. And it's just like, knowing stuff like that, it's just like, okay, like knowing when you misplay instead of misplaying, still being able to fumble somewhat a play,
And you get
and not
lucky.
being optimal, and you get lucky. So it's just like
Never punished.
Yeah.
that never punished mentality is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times it's just like that comes from losing. It doesn't come from winning and being good. Like it doesn't come from like, oh, like I top decked whatever and then I was able to win. Because all of us have lost to top deck.
More times than not. More times than not.
Like it's just like I've lost to top deck droplets. I've lost to top deck last card I need for my combo or top deck dark ruler. Because I promise you, I was playing Sword Bowl. I was playing against James. I didn't play a single hand trap with full combo. Goes draw for turn, standby, main, ruler. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what you want me to do? Like, I didn't have the cross out. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not losing. I mean, I didn't lose that turn, but he broke my board. I didn't have a good follow up because I misplayed trying to play around him. So, like, it's like, okay, well, it is what it is, you know? But we've all lost in those matches. But guess what? Top cut, I 2-0'd him. Like, I'm like, okay, so like I know what's gonna happen. Kept my cross outs in and kept my one a dark ruler no more. When he tried it again, I crossed it out. I'm like no, it's not happening again. So it's just certain interactions like that. It's just like you learning from those will make a player a lot better. And I think in our locals, it's something that we try to drill into everybody's head, and that alone is making our locals that much more competitive.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more fun to see that happen, to see the growth in players. Like, it's kind of like, it's kind of selfish to say that I get some enjoyment out of it, but I really do get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I love our community. I feel like our community is just like forever the most chill, the most like knowledgeable as far as just like decks and plays and play styles. And we're diverse. Like all of us are competitive, but the diversity in the format is there. Not just culturally diverse, but like I'm talking about like
style.
Yeah, it's like favoritism in regards to that. Like we all have our own thing. It's just like we're not all like we're not all playing 60 card based.
Right.
Like we're not all playing.
You know what's crazy? Like we post all these deck profiles, and like I don't see any neck decking going on with our locals, which I think is amazing. Because it's like because like everybody sees like, okay, these are the better decks of the format. I'm not gonna go down that road. I'm gonna try something else. Try to learn off of this, and I think that's the mentality because it's like cool. Like I know what the good decks are. If I play those decks, I probably will be successful. But I'm at a locals. I'm not here to necessarily win. I'm here to get better, and I think that's what a lot of the players are doing in my eyes from the time that I've been playing.
The deck profiles so far are at 30,678 people reached.
Dang, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so total photo views is 2,700, so like almost 10%. 33 shares. Like it's crazy. Like 31,504 organic. Total is 31,684 views. Like 30,000 views on a deck profile from a locals in Greensboro, bro.
Yeah.
Why? And to me, it's just like being able to see that. Like that's not boosting it, bro. I show you 100% organic. Like this thing will show. Like 100% organic views. Paid is in the middle. See that 0? Like, bro, I have to pay. Like, yeah, Zodiac is a huge page, but Zodiac also shared.
Yeah, that's the point.
And it's just like, and it's like a lot of us will somewhat net deck, but there's some cards that don't fit our playstyle.
Right.
And it's just like it is what it is. Like me, like I told you guys, I'm playing cross out at 3. Everybody's like, it's not for me. I'm like, it's for me.
Right.
I'm like, if I open it, like I will play into a nib. Like, I will play into a droplet. I will play into imperm. I will play into ad. I'm playing. Like, you might not play.
Right.
Bet. Tony's literally like bet.
Right.
Bet.
Like opening cross out full combo. Like la da 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 da. Then cross out continue. Like I ain't scared of nothing.
In other words, if you're main decking hand traps, just put in Lancia against Tony, no matter what he's playing. Because you nib him, then he cross out, then you Lancia. Chain Lancia to cross out. Legendary.
That card bite also is a backup.
That's when you're like,
it's
Gamma
it's
the
crazy,
Lancia.
right? Like everybody's playstyles are different, and I think that's what's like really cool about the game because your deck building inherently, it exemplifies that very nicely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know it's just like right now when we're about to start this this challenge for the sponsor team where the community is going to pick what decks we play. I think that will be the most fun we can actually have because like we're going to be looking at, I don't know, 15 rogue decks that they're probably going to want us to play.
God, I don't want to play War Rocks.
From Ancient Guardians forward. So, like, that includes Megatons.
X4 drop, bro.
So, like...
At least we know Brave doesn't work well in Ice Shade.
At least we not work well in Ice Shades. Like, I tried, baby. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like...
What's the worst option out of that to get stuck with? Because there's definitely a worst option.
Ooh.
I feel like it's Libromancer.
I don't know if I want to leak that goo because I'm gonna get stuck playing it.
Right?
Warrock, yeah.
Warrocks is bad.
Warrock about to make Mystic Mind Turbo, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Ain't nothing turbo about that deck, bro. Like, just
Turbo signed the slip. That's about it.
You're going to have to floodgate it. You're going to have to play that with floodgates. Like, lose one turn and goes a match. Like,
yeah. We'll call it 60 card please
Warriors,
or something.
Right? So you just play Rivalry?
Rivalry, yeah. Like,
yeah.
Rivalry, skill drain.
Goes in.
You don't play skill drain.
Lose one turn.
You need their effects.
Lose one turn.
No, they all trigger a damage step.
Yeah, they're like bad. They're just bad gladiator. Wabaku.
Do they all have the same attribute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. They think they're all Earth. Yeah.
Okay, so goes in.
So goes in and what?
Goes in and
goes in Rivalry.
Goes in and
then,
pray.
The only
That's
deck you're
about
worried
it.
about is Dragon Link.
That's gonna be. Oh, that's
gonna be interesting.
That's gonna be toxic.
But like I said, it's just like going into the format, looking at those decks. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's just like from a deck builder's point of view, there's only so much you can do. And I think it's funny. Like, I think it'll be really fun for the community to try to challenge us to do something. But that's where it's going to show, like, okay, where our skill level is based on knowledge of the game, deck building abilities, and just to be able to overall interactions with certain decks. Because, like, I don't know prank kids like Kazi and Ryan do, but I am perfectly aware that I need to get rid of their first body. Like, you stop that normal summon, you're winning that match. Like, you're warning their first summon, they can't link it off, they can combo.
Yeah.
You called by the grave when they link it off, they can combo. So, like, that knowledge, that kind of interactions, it's what will make this, like, little challenge thing we got going on fun.
Are we all doing it the same day, or will it just be like one of us with the deck and the other ones with their normal decks? Or
I think it'll be more fun for all of us to do it the same day.
Okay, thank goodness. Then at least we'll get paired up against each other at the bottom tables.
It'll be an interesting mirror match.
Yeah.
The OTG gave it a deck. They gave it a card. They gave Warlock a card.
There's been Warlock support. Like
No,
17 million cards.
It's a TCG
No, it's TCG exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, but the OCG gave it a card. It says while your opponent controls a special summon monster and you control level 7 or higher Warlock monster, neither player can activate the effects of the monsters on the field during the main phase 1. During your main phase, you can set one Warlock spell or trap directly from your deck except Warlock Medium. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except warrior monsters. Even if this card leaves the field, you can only use this effect of Warlock Medium once per turn. So the OCG was trying to fix it, bro. Like, try. Oh my god, mutants. Mutants got to be put into Megatons.
Yo, I'll play Mutant Invoke. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Mutant's actually a decent archetype. Like, it's somewhat okay.
Whatever. I think I'll take things and no one ever for 500. Like,
at least it's better than Warrock. At least it's playable.
Yeah, I think that the worst decks would be either Warrocks, maybe Snakes.
I'll go act nice, bro.
We're forgetting Libromancer from Battles of Chaos.
Oh no, you play with Invoked.
No. You can just play with the Vampire Lord now. Since
Vampire Lord Turbo.
Yeah, the two of the main combo pieces are level 8, so you just overlay that as a graveyard-centric deck, so it's like...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You just start milling, you know?
Every turn you get a Snake Rain off your zombie boy.
Yeah.
And like their boss monster is a send all monsters on the field that were not special summon from grave, so...
Yeah, it's probably one of the better options, honestly.
Yeah. Let's see what else came out. It would be Libromancers.
Oh, I didn't know what those cards do. What about Magic?
Oh my god, Magic, he's a deck. Punks.
You just play Magic-y Drytron.
Right.
Yeah.
Your Punk's not bad. You just play Punk and probably like splash some virtual world with it.
S-Force?
Yeah.
Oh god, S-Force. S-Force Gravitito. I love saying that name.
Oh, the Do-Re-Mi Pendulum deck.
Oh,
Sulfur
Yeah,
Pendulum.
Sulfur Cord.
The $6 deck.
Yeah.
I literally pulled the full cord. That shit was $6, bro. It took me an hour to piece that cord together. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this is about to be like $20. I go price it out. $6 whole, bro. That guy paid more for sleeves, bro. Paid more for freaking sleeves than he paid for the core. You know how mad I was, bro? I was so mad. I went through 5,000 rows to try to put this deck together. I'm like, bro, I would have given you a competitive deck if I knew it was this bad. I would have we didn't have it.
Bro, I'm dead.
It was bad.
I'm dead. I keep dying.
It was that bad, bro. $6 for a whole deck.
That's the 6th time this week I've died.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead.
I'm just like, listen, I'm dedicated to the player base, baby, but don't do this again.
You're gonna find out.
Oh my god.
Oh, what's that new dinosaur deck? Pays life points?
Oh, Dinomorphia?
Yeah. Yeah,
with Dinomorphis, you can play the hybrid version with the regular dinos.
Nah, bro, it's got to be with the challenge. It has to be
I think if you're going to play a hybrid, it has to be something Warrock to make it fair.
16 cards have to be in archetype.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so Baby Dino summons them. That's the thing.
But it's gonna be so much cheese where it's like you go summon, make needle fiber.
I
mean, realistically, like that's also kind of part of the point of it is like to show you that like even rogue decks like in the right hands can like do crazy things. You know what I mean?
The purpose is to try to win with the deck. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. For us, it's to try to win with the deck. For them, it's to put us down on like a deck that's not good to see if we can play out of it. You know what I mean?
I've been on a deck that's not good.
It's not just oh, you guys are decent players, so we're gonna make you play pure S-Force, and if you don't top, like you're just bad. Like
Okay. let them know your boy about to play S-Force with ground collapse. Let's go, baby! You ain't playing no muscles.
Everything. I'm just gonna.
Says you can't play in this 3. Good luck.
If I get stuck playing War Rocks, I'm just gonna play 3 ref and just go second every time.
Like, bro, it's kaiju featuring everything.
Yo,
Yeah.
for real, right?
Like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I feel like it's gonna be really, really enjoyable for everybody in the shop.
Yeah, it'll be
Just to
dope.
kind of just like have a day where like all of them talk, and it's not like the same people. Because like a lot of the times, it's like we see the same people in like top 4 or top 8,
Yeah.
and I think this Saturday will be a lot more fun for them because like you guys are going to be at the PS5 event,
Mhm.
so that's going to be kind of cool.
Because even even the week before we weren't there, right? Or no, you guys were there. I wasn't there.
Yeah, we were there. I think Friday night Yugi's getting a lot more. He's getting a lot bigger than I wanted to be, bro. Like, I'm wearing that thing to 11, bro. And I was like, first it was just me and Corey wanting to test on Fridays. It was pointless, bro. It was Corey, like myself, Trinity, and Tanya, bro. It was just us 4, bro.
Now we have 24 people.
On a
24
Friday.
people on a Friday.
So locals now. Y'all might just start that thing earlier. What time do y'all start it at?
I can't. I get off of work at 5. By the time I make it there, it's like 5:30, 5:40. Corey gets off at 5, and it's just about a 30, 40-minute drive.
So y'all started at 6 then?
We start at
Yeah.
6:30. Sign up starts at 6.
I'm gonna try to
Why don't
come
you
this
just start
Friday.
at 6?
Because then everybody gets there like at 5:50. Like, and then so it's like, and then on days that I'm like running a little bit behind, like it's just like it's a no-go sometimes.
Friday night is a 24 deep local. That's wild.
Bro, and it's just genuinely just like it started off as us wanting to test on Fridays. It's like remote duels. Like remote duels was just like, hey man, like let's go ahead and run remote duels. Just one more entry, or we can get OTS packs.
Right.
Like get better standings with Konami. Right, I checked their standings with the store. I think the store right now it's at an excellent, so it's a really good rating. So like as long as we keep that rating and start submitting everything, we should be staying at an excellent. I didn't want to ruin this, but I guess it's like we sent our submission in to be one of the featured stores. You know when you go to the Konami's website?
Yeah.
We sent that in. So yeah, so hopefully we get picked. I know that like we're reporting the most active community in NC right now. Even though this past weekend we did have 76 players, that KC event up in Tennessee, I think they had 100. So I'm like, we weren't the biggest, but I mean, we were the biggest in NC.
Yeah.
So
We were the biggest that advertised one case.
yeah,
Because like originally they were supposed to do 4, and then it started snowing, and they dropped it to 1. So
That's wild.
Yeah.
that kind of sucks for that. But I mean, like, what do? You know what I mean?
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't really do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great podcast. I really enjoyed it.
I think we went way over it.
That's okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay for us to ramble sometimes.
Mostly me. I've been talking, boy.
It's been a minute. I mean, it's been a minute since we last done it, so we had
Yeah.
a lot on our minds.
Yeah, we're getting back on schedule. We're trying to. You guys want to try to do it every week?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it. Okay, guys. Well, thank you all for watching. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We're on our road to get to 1,000 subscribers. We passed 900 today, and we are almost there. And also, make sure you click on the link in the description below. Get those Magician Souls for subscribing. Also, be sure to check out Easy Gaming on Facebook for all of the content that they post every weekend, as you can see right here. And you'll definitely be seeing more of us soon. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. What did you say?
Subscribe, people. Later.
Later.